this is the first time that a UN Day celebration or concert has had a particular theme. And as Assistant Secretary General for Field Support, I think it's very, very fitting that the theme of peacekeeping has been chosen. I've worked in 5 peacekeeping missions, and I know how hard that the civilian and military peacekeepers work. I'd like to thank the Culture Project and the Department of Public Information for organizing the concert and celebration. But especially I would like to pay tribute to the 115,000 military and police and civilian peacekeepers who are now serving around the world. They are working in some of the most remote, difficult, and hostile places in the world. They have been assigned almost impossible mandates by the Security Council. And they are far away from family and friends and what they are used to as the comforts of life. I just returned from Afghanistan a few days ago, and I visited a remote provincial office in Daikundi, and there was a young Japanese woman who was in charge of the office, and she was worried that during the winter months, the office is cut off for 4 months because of snow. They can only get in and out by helicopter. Sometimes, because of weather, helicopters can't get in for 2 or more weeks. And what happens if they get in an accident? You know, this is a young woman who's far away from her home, really working very, very hard for people that she's just getting to know now. Recently I was in Congo talking to a Uruguayan Navy captain who led a unit on Lake Kivu who had been away from his country, his family, his children for over a year. Obviously missed them very much, but his unit, this Uruguayan naval unit, was doing a great job bringing security to that part of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Those are just 2 stories. There are many, many more like that, indeed 115,000 or so like that, and it's wonderful that today on UN Day this concert is paying tribute to the work and sacrifices of UN peacekeepers. I would also like to note and pay tribute to the 2,635 peacekeepers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the pursuit of peace. People who have lost their lives.
I think one of the ideas or inspirations that we wanted to bring forth was the extraordinary artistic contribution that great talent makes, great artists make, but also there's a great humanity that also is part of who they are, and often with their busy schedules they don't have time to organize what they should do and how they should do it, and so to try to link up the sense of purpose that the dedication that great artists have to master their craft and give them an opportunity to share that in a way that pays a unique reward insofar as given a kind of a spotlight on the world stage of humanity, which is what the UN has to offer, is I think the reason that we feel particularly motivated and passionate about participating in this particular day, in this particular event, and that the process of getting to know more about the work of the various peacekeeping missions and sharing that with the artists that are participating has been a great privilege. And so we're honored to be here. We're honored to share the stage with these extraordinary artists that have volunteered their time, and we're looking forward to an extremely exciting evening.
I've worked with Alan a bunch of times on different projects, and Alan asked me to make a film about the Peacekeepers, and my first response was no. I don't know anything about them. I mean, I just hear these weird things. They wear these funny hats, blue hats, and I thought, and Alan's like, I want you to meet this guy who's one of them, Nick Bernbach. You got to meet him. And we had dinner, and by the end, I wanted to become a peacekeeper. I was so excited and turned on by what they did, and kind of honored that he asked me to do this. And I still started working on the film, looking at a lot of footage and films that they had sent us. This guy Carlo Antal from the Congo, and I got to meet him and interviewed a bunch of the wonderful people like Tony, who's one of the stars of the film. And I still didn't really know exactly. I understood it a bit, but I was like, I need to really become embedded. I need to know what really goes on. And so Nick said, let's go to Haiti. And I said, okay, great. And he said, you ever slept in an army barracks? And I said, no. And so we went with my crew, and we stayed with the Guatemalan army in Port-au-Prince, and took Hugo Salinas, who's one of the guys that works here with us, who's one of the people responsible for the Haiti desk. And Hugo and I and our crew, we slept in barracks with this incredibly dedicated group of soldiers from Guatemala. And we literally went from the Guatemalan camp to the Brazilian camp to the Sri Lankan camp to the Nigerian police camp. And we really got a sense, and hopefully you'll get a really great sense of it if you get a chance to see these films, of what it is they do. And I was blown away and completely moved, and seriously I got it. And my job was kind of to illuminate to the people that don't understand what it is Peacekeepers do, and tell them, and then for people who do know what they do, entertain them and make it, kind of an entertaining experience in little bites, little 4-minute bites. So it's been a wonderful experience. Sadly, something that did happen is that one of our filming was with the Uruguayan army, and we wanted to follow them doing a reconnaissance mission where the plane opens up and you kind of are strapped in and you're filming looking for gang members and for people who are, unsavory types trying to keep the peace. And we had a wonderful time with them in the plane and really got to know them for 3.5 hours, drinking mate and, on the breaks. And the next time they went out, sadly, the plane crashed. And they perished, and it was just like really made me feel like, my God, these guys, their lives are on the line all the time, what they do. So we're going to be paying a little tribute to those wonderful people as well, and the Jordanians who were with them. So that's it. It's been quite a journey, and I really have a very profound admiration for these peacekeepers and what they do.
My name is Andrea Echeverri. I'm a singer and a mother. I think that is important. The name of our band is Aterciopelados, and we are from Colombia. I think that makes us a very live part of this peacekeeping issue, because in my country there are horrible things happening, and we definitely think that the war against war is definite. The reason why we are here is because maybe 2 years ago, when the human rights had their 60th anniversary, Amnesty International wanted to do something special to celebrate. So they chose one of our songs from an album called Oye. The song is Canción Protesta. The song originally is a tribute to this movement from the 70s, where artists wanted to change the world. People like Violeta Parra from Chile, Mercedes Sosa, who just recently died, from Argentina. They were marvelous people who had this huge social consciousness and wanted to change the world through music. That's what Aterciopelados want to do as well, and I think many of the artists tonight.
As a musician, I wouldn't say that we are peacekeepers, but we admire peacekeepers. And we are trying to do few things on our instruments, on our voices, and on our concert schedules to communicate and to bring music to a different level, which is understanding. And I hope that music's power can cross the barriers and to some misunderstanding from different corners of the world. And as a UNICEF ambassador, and we work very closely together, and for me, it's probably the best experience happened in my life to see wonderful kids, but who's having lots of problems in their native country, and to bring music and to see how happy they are after hearing music and after becoming very active with music. And through their eyes, I really felt that there's a huge future through music from us and for the people.
Is it harder now to communicate peace through art, or do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think, of course, we always have a challenge, but music probably is one of the most easiest way to communicate and to help a bit, I think. So whether this time or 10 years ago or 10 years after, I think we're facing the same kind of challenge. But hopefully, in 10 years' time, it will be less challenge than today.
What I think, just as he said, music is the perfect vehicle. The thing is that most of the people are using it to send different messages. Maybe because they sell more, homosexual messages. So not so many people are using it for harmonic and say like listening lessons, which could be the perfect motives. Pero it is the perfect vehicle to communicate. We should convince other musicians to use it for those purposes as well.
Can I just add to that? If I'm not mistaken, the first UN Day concert was Pablo Casals?
Was?
Pablo Casals?
The great challenge.
Oof, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Let's say that from my limited knowledge, I think that's true. But we also have, when the Berlin Wall came down, the great cellist Rostropovich went to play his cello as the wall came down, and he said something like, you know, they can have this body, but they can't have my cello. but the point is that music historically, in the wonderful film From Mao to Mozart, when Isaac Stern went to China and taught young people, and I was so proud watching that film to be associated with the world of music, because these really are ambassadors that reach cross-cultural differences, and the humanity becomes the voice of their understanding through the musical similarities. And it's I don't know that there's a bad time to use music for peace.
And filmmaking as well, I feel it's a great time, especially now that it's so much easier to just grab a camera and make a film, and you can edit on your, and more voices can be heard. So I think, and I think also documentary in general has become a much more popular form because there's more outlets to show it. So I think it's a great time, especially in this country.